Hello, this is Edward. Today I will be discussing the Flint water crisis in Flint, Michigan. For my presentation, I will talk about the purpose and objectives, define the crisis, review key events and affected regions, examine environmental and economic impacts, and conclude with a summary and reference. My goal is to explain the key events leading to the crisis, analyze the Flint water crisis environmental, economic, and public health impacts through data visualizations, and discuss the governmental response and lessons learned for future policy. The Flint water crisis started in April 2014 when the city switched its water source from Lake Huron to the Flint River without implementing proper corrosion control. As a result, lead began leaching from aging pipes into the water supply, which created a serious public health emergency. And here below, you will see a table which has the key events, from the initial switch to the detection of high lead levels and to the public outcry, government actions, and ongoing legal and policy reforms. These milestones illustrate how a series of governmental oversights can transform into a widespread crisis which affects many residents. Central Flint and the surrounding low-income neighborhoods are characterized by aging and poorly maintained infrastructures, and they were hit the hardest. And this map, based on January 2016 water tests, can clearly highlight the areas with the highest lead levels and greatest risk of exposure. Because Flint's water was not properly treated, lead leached into the environment, disrupts local ecosystems, and the elevated lead levels harmed the water aquatic life, harmed plant and wildlife, and contaminated soil around aging pipes. This contamination can linger for years, which affects food chains and habitats. As a result, ongoing remediation and careful monitoring are necessary to restore environmental health in the region. This is a line graph. It shows a clear rise in lead levels after the switch to Flint River water, which peaks around mid-2015, before gradually declining when measures were introduced. Although levels begin to drop, the data illustrate how quickly contamination can escalate when proper control was overlooked. This bar graph highlights that Central Flint experienced the highest average soil lead levels, which is likely due to older infrastructures and proximity to corroded pipes. Other neighborhoods also can witness elevated levels, which shows that the widespread impact and the need for targeted remediation efforts. Now I'm going to talk about the economic impacts. Economically, Flint has faced enormous financial burdens. The city has massive costs for repairing infrastructures, and the city Flint experienced a sharp decline in property values. It has to deal with costly lawsuits and lost tax revenue. Government aid and private donations have been critical in alleviating some of the financial strains that Flint was experiencing. This is a pie chart. It breaks down the economic cost. It shows the distribution of funds spent on infrastructure upgrades, healthcare, legal fees, and other areas related to the Flint water crisis. In summary, the decision to switch the water source in 2014 without adequate safeguards led to dangerously high lead levels in Flint, and this sparked a full-blown crisis. This event caused significant environmental and economic damage and exposed major flaws in public health. It underscores the urgent need for rigorous water quality controls and proactive governmental responses. And here is a reference page which includes articles, government reports, and research studies that informed this presentation. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your attention and welcome any questions you may have.